Hi, good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2, and peace and blessings be upon you and your family this afternoon. Now, we are going to get right back into Black Stars, African American Women Writers. We just finished up Maya Angelou. Now, the next I have for you is Polly Marshall. Now, she was born during a time period of 1929, and there is a picture of Miss Marshall. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this for Miss Marshall. It reads as such. Following World War I, 1917 to 1918, a new group of Black people brought their cultures and stories to America. Coming from the Caribbean islands, known as the West Indies, they had unique traditions and dialects. And like most immigrants, they came to America seeking jobs and opportunities. Polly Marshall was born Valenza Pauline Burke to Ada and Samuel Burke on April the 9th, 1929. The year the stock market crashed. Her parents had come to the United States from Barbados, West Indies, following World War I. She was raised in Brooklyn, New York, in a neighborhood where the population was predominantly immigrants, of Caribbean background. After graduation from high school, she attended Brooklyn College, where she earned a Bachelor of Arts in 1953. She continued her studies at Hunter College, earning a master's degree in 1955. She later joined the Harlem Writers Guild. Her first short story, The Valley Between, was published in Our World magazine in 1954. Her first and best-known novel is Brown Girl, Brownstones, 1959. It tells the story of Selena Boyce and her West Indian family who lived in Brooklyn, New York. Brownstones are handsome, look-alike townhomes. Many were abandoned by white immigrants as the new Black immigrants prospered and moved in. Selena's mother dreams of owning one. Selena's father, on the other hand, longs to return to his beloved Caribbean island. Black immigrant women like Selena's mother, toiling endlessly to fulfill their dreams in America during World War II, 1941 to 1945, are the main focus in Brown Girl. The narrator explains that the lucky one have a regular white woman for whom they work. These Black women boarded trains daily to clean homes, cook meals, and care for the children of white women. The Caribbean women without permanent employers had to rise early to stand on street corners where potential employers will look them over in a manner almost demeaning as a slave auction block. Many of the women in Brown Girl Brownstones hold 2 and sometimes 3 jobs. Marshall describes the workday of Miss Thompson, who is a beautician by day, an office cleaner by night, and the mother of 3 small children. At dawn, she had eaten in an all-night diner, dozing over her coffee. Then, as the morning cleared, she had come to the beauty parlor. Pausing to work on a sore foot, Miss Thompson dresses the ugly, unheaded ulcer on the instep of her foot. This done, she leaned back and for the first time in 24 hours since she had been up, permitted herself to feel tired. Polly Marshall praises the strength of her mother and the other Black women of her community in an essay titled The Making of a Writer from the Post in the Kitchen. It was a story she overheard and delighted in as a young girl in Brooklyn. Marshall has worked as a librarian, a journalist, and a college professor. She taught literature at major universities, including Columbia, Virginia, Union, and Yale, and lectured extensively both in the United States and abroad. Paule Marshall has one adult son who lives in New York City, where she teaches at New York University. Annually, she holds a forum at NYU, at which she introduces newly published authors and their works. Among the young Black women writers she has presented in this forum a prize-winning novelist, Edwidge Danicat, Crick Crack, and A.J. Verdadell, The Good Negroes, authors who have also a love of the vernacular tradition, especially as practiced by women. Now, the vernacular, is a normal spoken language of a group or region. Paule Marshall received the prestigious MacArthur Award in 1992, commonly called a Genius Award. The MacArthur Grant is a cash prize given annually by the MacArthur Foundation to individuals who show exceptional talent in their given field. The money is awarded over a 5-year period to allow an artist to pursue his or her work by helping to alleviate concerns about financial obligations. In addition to the MacArthur Award, Marshall has been the recipient of an Guggenheim Fellowship, a Rosenthal Fellowship, a Ford Foundation grant, and numerous other prizes. Marshall's publications also include Soul Clap Hands and Sing, 1961, The Chosen Place, The Timeless People, 1969, Praise Song for the Widow, 1983, Rena and Other Stories, 1983, and Daughters, 1991. Now, we do have a section in here. It's entitled Poets in the Kitchen, and this is for that. Now, Marshall, who potentially captures the voices and nonets of Caribbean speech, describes all the skills she gained by sitting and listening to conversations in her mother's kitchen. Domestic workers talked about their jobs, reminisced about families left behind, joked about employers, and most of all, shared dreams about improving their lot in what they affectionately called this man's country. When people at readings and writers' conferences ask me who my major influences were, they are sometimes a little disappointed when I don't immediately name the usual literary giants. True, I am indebted to those writers, white and Black, whom I read during my formative years and still read for instruction and pleasure. But they were preceded in my life by another set of giants who I always acknowledge before all others, the group of women around the table long ago. They taught me my first lessons in the narrative art. They trained my ear. They set a standard of excellence. This is why the best of my work is to be attributed to them. It stands as testimony to the rich legacy of language and culture so freely passed on to me in the workshop of the kitchen. And the next section I have for you is Caribbean Heritage. Another notable writer of Caribbean heritage is Jamaica Kincaid. She was born Elaine Potter Richardson on May 24th, 1949, in St. John's, Antigua, Antigua, West Indies. Her mother was a Carib Indian and her father a Dominican. Kincaid began to study photography and wrote for various magazines, including Injuine and The New Yorker. Her work includes At the Bottom of the River, 1983, Annie John, 1985, and A Small Place, 1988, Lucy, 1990, and an autobiography of my mother, 1996, and my brother, 1997. Like Marshall, Kincaid explores the relationships between mothers and daughters. And that does complete Paule Marshall. And instead of one, I actually had two for you because the second one was Jamaica Kincaid here on Poem Praise 2. So I want for you to be well, take care, be blessed, and it be it thy will. I will talk with you soon here on Poem Praise 2. So until next time, later y'all.